I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses.
Okay, this is going to be my fitness journey. Starting right off the bat, we're going to just kick right to it. Growing up, I had a lot of health issues, and I'm not really comfortable saying what I dealt with, but it was very unhealthy. I was eating super unhealthy all the time. I never did anything athletic in my entire life. So I had zero muscle. I was super lazy all the time. I thought I had a wide back because, as you can see in these photos or videos, hopefully I'll put in them, I just didn't. I didn't like my body. My lower body was smaller than my upper body. I didn't really realize why. And that's because I wasn't doing anything athletic. I didn't have any. Obviously, I had muscle. You need muscle to move around. It wasn't anything substantial. Like, it wasn't anything obvious. So I thought my natural body type was heavy on the top and light on the bottom. A little bit before the pandemic, my mom wanted to go to the gym with me, and she was like, you should come. It was Planet Fitness, and I was like, fuck it, whatever. Like, I guess I'll try. Mind you, I was not athletic at all. Like, I wasn't doing anything. I hated walking, I hated running. I hated anything physical. So I would go to the gym at legit 3 in the morning, and I would just walk on the treadmill. That's the only thing that I did in Planet Fitness. I was too scared to approach the weights. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just stood on the treadmill and I walked. And a little bit after that, that's when I decided to kind of experiment with weights a little. I was doing the isometric machines, so like the leg press, the bicep curl, but it wasn't all the time. And then the pandemic hit. And that was crazy. Obviously, everyone experienced this. We were locked in and I wasn't really doing anything, but that was a time when I was like, let me focus on my fitness for a while. I was watching Taylor Katie, I was watching Annabelle. These two influencers had such an impact on the way that I viewed fitness. It's crazy. I was watching their videos and their transformations. Oh my God, like it really inspired me. And if they could do it, I could do it. And that's the mindset that I had in the pandemic. Now, when I started to work out at home, I was doing at home workouts like Chloe Ting and some other YouTubers, but they weren't really giving me any progress. And I remember seeing this video, I forgot which one it was. They said in the video that nutrition was everything. So, of course, I did the way that I do things in real life. Now, I don't recommend anyone doing it this way, but I went completely cold turkey. Okay. I went from eating fast food, fried food, very oily food to cold turkey, unseasoned, healthy food. And that, you guys, do not do that. It's not really sustainable. It's not healthy. It was sustainable for me, but I definitely do not recommend it. It that was crazy. I don't really know. I don't really have anything to say about that, but this is when I saw weight loss rapidly. And again, it was because of the cold turkey. Like I went from eating so shitty to eating really, really healthy and barely putting any seasoning in my food. I was not living a healthy balance. And it was to the point where I refused a sip of smoothies. I refused a bite of food. Like I was just so strict with myself and I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But I would say that contributed the most to my weight loss. And as you can see here in photos, like, I was losing rapidly. Like this is over the course of months, okay? Like the same summer that COVID hit, it was just a few months that I lost all this weight. And it wasn't like I had a disordered eating because I was eating an adequate amount of calories. I was eating 1,300 calories, which isn't a lot, but for at home workouts and what I was doing, that was fine. We weren't really active in the pandemic anyway. So, but that was a crazy experience and I learned so much from it. The number one thing that I learned was that balanced eating is important. You can still lose weight and still enjoy your fitness journey by eating what you want in a moderate way. So, fast forward to the end of the pandemic and I decided to move to a different city. Moving to a different city kind of helped me change gyms. So, I was going to LA Fitness at this time and And LA Fitness turned out to be so much better than Planet Fitness because of the free weights and the non-judgmental zone. Ironically, Planet Fitness was the worst experience of my life, and I can make another video talking about that. But LA Fitness allowed me to lift heavy and just kind of explore different weights, machines. I felt more comfortable, and that's when my progress skyrocketed. I went from at home to Planet Fitness and then to LA Fitness. So in LA Fitness, I was really taking my macros seriously. This is the first time I calculated my macros using this calculator here on the internet. It wasn't really accurate because I was being very, very conservative with it. Like, I wanted to make sure I was skinny, and that was the goal that I had, which I don't recommend and I regret doing. I wanted to be as lean as possible as opposed to focusing on muscle growth. So I really still wasn't eating enough. I was calculating my macros. I was still eating conservatively. So I was seasoning my food a little more. And this is when I saw a lot of growth because I was able to lift really, really heavy, and I loved it for a period of time. Everything was kept the same, the food, the exercises, and it wasn't until January of this year when my gains were really coming through. I moved to a gym that was a private gym, but they have so many weights and so many options. So I really took advantage of that. January of 2022 was when I was like, okay, let me stop playing. Let me actually up my food. Let me actually put in work into my meals because I still felt kind of tired and I was pushing myself a lot in LA Fitness, but I wasn't seeing growth. I was seeing a plateau, and that plateau was because I wasn't eating enough. You need to be eating in a surplus. If not in a surplus, perform exercise that would burn those calories so that you are still building muscle. If your goal is to build muscle, then you're gonna have to eat enough. So I was eating a lot in January, and even though last year in 2021, LA Fitness skyrocketed my growth, this year it was the nutrition. The food that I ate really helped me gain the muscle that I needed, and I was really, really consistent. And I can say with confidence that I've never missed a leg day. Even on vacation, I was doing lots and lots of exercise, but with a reasonable amount. I never pushed myself to the point where I was super tired or super hungry from all the food that I was not eating. I was actually eating a lot of meals. So that helped a lot in my growth. Yeah, so that's my fitness journey so far. Whenever I start something or I start something new, I always make sure to be consistent with it. So one of the things that helped me the most throughout my progress is one, never missing a gym day. I know that's a lot for a lot of people, but I think that is the number one thing that contributed to my growth. I was consistent. I didn't stay in bed or be lazy whenever I felt like it. One of the most important parts of fitness is pushing yourself when you don't want to push yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You get up for work every day when you don't want to. So why can't you do it for yourself and your own body if you really want it that bad? So I never ever missed a leg day, even on vacation, which I don't recommend, but I just love the gym so much that it makes for a good start in my day. So I never miss a gym day. Number two is eating a lot of food. I used to be very, very scared of food, but that is one of the best things, if not the most important thing that contributes to muscle growth. So that's super, super important. And number three is sleep. I've actually been lacking on my sleep a lot, but if you get 8 hours of sleep, that's the time that your muscles take to grow. They grow when you sleep. That's the time for your body to recover. Make sure you get enough sleep because that's extremely important. I can also make a video on all of the glute workouts that I found contributed to my growth if you're interested. But yeah, that's